Hello, my name is Bill Cope. I'm a professor in the College of Education at the University of Illinois.
And I'm Mary Calancis, also a professor in the same department. Bill and I co-teach a program that we're going to introduce to you. We call it the Learning Design and Leadership Program, and Bill's going to tell you the number of ways in which you can access it.
So access is a big word for us. We have a number of different formats that we offer this in. The most accessible format is free on Coursera as a MOOC. All our courses, the whole program is available that way. But also, if you want to come and enroll at the University of Illinois, we have it as a certificate, as a master's program, but also you can do it as a fully online doctorate as well.
Right. We're going to now elaborate a little bit on the content and the processes that we use in this program. We use the term new learning because we believe that something is happening in our world at the moment that requires us to reconsider and reflect on the design and delivery of education from early childhood right through to the workplace. We are researchers and we research the way in which the needs of this new age need to be realised in the classroom.
So what do we mean by learning? We have a pretty simple definition. Learning are the things you do to know. So that's actually a very broad definition. It's just not just what kids do in schools. It's not just what students do in universities. Learning happens everywhere all the time. When you're looking up a how-to, a help link in a piece of software, you're learning. Learning is all around us all the time.
Right, and all our courses are based on our research and the findings of our research, which are in the books that we use as part of the courses.
So one of our more recent books looks at something that we call e-learning ecologies, where we're interested in what we call the affordances of the digital. So we can do a lot of old-fashioned things with digital media in schools, but what we're interested in is the possibilities that are open, new possibilities that are opened with digital meaning to support learning in that very broad definition that we have.
Right, and of course e-learning ecologies exist again everywhere, from traditional school environments to workplace environments to a range of other environments, and people live and learn in ecologies of learning, and we want to explore with you the way in which the digital has now made our work as educators different from it might have been once before.
So where our research began, and the more specific narrow area of research, is an area that we call literacies, not literacy in the singular. You know, old days literacy in the singular was learning how to read and write. But these days, in the era of new media, what we call multimodal literacies, which is, you know, we're in a world of screens, we're in a world of the internet, we're in a world of, you know, where we have media in our pockets that we pull out and we look at, and the textual forms we have there and the forms of representation we have there are very different from the historical ones. So the research that the core of our original research was around broadening this notion of literacy to literacies in the plural.
Right, so Bill has just spoken about the different forms in which meaning is made now, from the textual to the visual, but we also explore with you the way in which patterns are made through the deployment of different modes and the kind of function that they play. And also, importantly, as educators, what do we do with that understanding of the form and the function? What kind of pedagogical uses do we put it to? So we explore that in depth and through a number of examples.
So our most recent research is not directly about education at all, to be quite frank. It's about this whole world of new media, this whole world of human interaction, which is being transformed by new technologies, also transformed by social diversity, also integrally part of a whole series of things that we often call disruptive changes. So we have a very broad view of learning as integrally related to the processes of human meaning.
Right, and human meaning making and the patterns of meaning making, whether it's at home, whether it's in terms of entertainment, whether it's in the workplace or schools, different things are happening there at the moment in the ways in which we engage with each other and with the world. And our work explores the potential of those changes, the dangers of those changes, what we need to do as educators in responding to them.
So now we'll talk about some of the ideas in the courses that we offer. One big idea is this dreaded topic of assessment. You know, people don't like tests, and tests are about, you know, fearful things where you might do well or you might do badly. But one of our themes is that the assessment of human knowledge, of what's been learned, that's changing quite fundamentally, with a couple of things which sound like cliches, but they're actually real. We know they're real. That's big data and artificial intelligence. Now, the research that Mary and I have been doing recently is about exactly the impact of these things on assessment, and therefore the impact of these things on learning. And we have a slightly optimistic view of what might be possible in terms of transforming everything that we dreaded once about assessment.
Right, and of course we all are aware of the role that formal testing plays in the impact it has on curriculum, on pedagogy, on the way in people learn. We'd like to see testing to become an evaluation to be something that's helpful to learners, not something that is just judgmental, but something that is given to them just in time and enables them to progress. And we explore those possibilities.
Another set of themes we have is around the social nature of knowledge, the collaborative nature of knowledge. So remember, in the old days, you did a test and you covered up your work so the other person didn't see what you were doing. It was what you could remember, your own memory. It was highly individualized. You sat in a lecture theatre and didn't talk to the person beside you because that would have been disruptive. You privately read the textbook. So a whole lot of things that we did historically in education were actually very individualistic, even though we were together in the classroom. But now we have an environment where collaboration is pretty important. It's in workplaces, in communities, it's very important everywhere, where we operate with collaborative tools in the form of the devices we have in our pockets and our interaction with media. So what we want to try to do is think about how can we apply those ideas of collaboration to learning in the classroom. How do we structure peer-to-peer interaction? How do we structure classroom discourse? How do we then create knowledge communities where what we're doing is collaborative rather than so individualistic?
Right. So, given the nature of the way in which disciplines themselves are changing and problems in the world are emerging, we understand that collaborative knowledge, the social mind, is a very important aspect of preparing learners to deal with the complexities of the world that's emerging.
And in this program, we practice what we preach. It's not a matter of conventional e-learning where you watch the video and then you do the test and you're on your own. It's you and the screen. We have a lot of collaboration going on where you're posting things, other students or participants in the program are commenting, where there's structured peer review, where you're giving and receiving feedback from each other. So we, around this topic of collaborative knowledge ecologies, we practice what we preach in the program.
Right. In fact, you get evaluated on the knowledge of each course, you get evaluated on the level of engagement, and very importantly, you get evaluated on the degree of help that you provide others and you're able to receive from others.
So just to tie this together now, if you want to know more about the program and what we do, Mary and I have our own sort of scholarly professional website here, which has a lot of resources, a lot of information about our own research, but also you can go to the college website and there's information about the program there in a great deal of detail.
So we thank you for your interest in our program, and we hope you're able to join us, and we look forward to engaging with you and your expertise and helping us build a program that makes educators ready for the future.
Yes, please join us. And I might say one of the things that we love about this program is we get to hear the voices of very interesting people doing very interesting work. The people who apply to the program and decide to do it are all incredibly interesting people from such a diverse range of professionals, countries, life experiences. And Mary and I find that we learn we seem to be learning more from the students, maybe more from the students than we give. So anyhow, please come and join us.